Everybody, welcome to another just-in-time training video. I am Kim Husin with Girl Scouts of Silver Sage, and today I am joined by Liana. She's one of our membership managers, but also a troop cookie manager. I am borrowing her troop to do this video so we can go through the reconciliation process. And I am going to share my screen so that y'all can see what I'm doing. All right, that one. Right. So now we shall be looking at smart cookies over here. Um, so I know Kim Ross went and sent out a lovely email with some closeout steps that are located on our FAQ document. So first thing you want to make sure that you're doing, which you should be doing this whole time, is you allocate all of the cookies sold at cookie booths through the Smart Booth Divider, which we can find by going into the booth tab, My Reservations, and then we will see all of our booths. So you'll see that we've got a whole bunch of different locations listed, and they've been adding all of those in there as they've been going along. Liana, do you have any booths from over the weekend that haven't been entered yet?
No, sorry. I got them all entered in as soon as we finished them.
No worries. Okay. Well, then we're going to do a pretend order here. So this one isn't going to come up till Friday, but we'll do a pretend one. So we'll go into our Smart Booth divider and we are going to save. Let's see, I know how many cookies you have left. So, okay, we're going to say that we sold 5 packages of each flavor and we'll pick a couple of girls. Just going to grab the first 3 girls. Um, So now we have our girls. So the Smart Booth Divider does try to distribute it as evenly as possible. So you can see each girl here out of our 40 packages has 8 packages allocated to her. And then we just have to add a few more so we can get rid of these red boxes. Let's do that. All right, so now I do have one girl who's going to get 14 packages and the other 2 are going to get 13. So we can get that 14 and maybe Abby has done a lot of booths and Annabelle has not. So I'm going to give that extra cookie to Annabelle to give her a little bit of extra bump. Or maybe she stayed and um, helped out with, cleaning up the booth and I want to give her that little extra. However you feel is honest and fair and the best way to allocate that little extra cookie. Um, I'm sure you'll end up with more as you finish, going off those. And then we'll click on save. Now, if I went back to my paperwork and realized, oh my gosh, no, they, had 3 donation cookies at this booth too, I can edit my booth sales. I can add 3 donation packages, save it, and then I have to redistribute it again. So I'll have to go through that whole process of distributing them again. Do, 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 do. Oh, that didn't work out. There we go. Uh, and then we'll save. And so by doing that process through the divider, it will remove those troop to girl transfers that it creates when you have to edit that booth number and redistribute them. So this creates all those transfers for you and you don't have to think about it. So we'll go back in there. Another thing you'll want to make sure that you distribute is this virtual delivery bucket. When it has that red bar on it, it'll say pending distribution. So this works just like any other booth divider. And let's see, Lana, we'll throw these under your daughter really quick. So here it looks like there was 6 cookie share that came in and 1 caramel delight. So these cookies typically come in if when you're at a booth, you have a donation only order that comes in through Digital Cookie, or they could come in through a girl taking a payment on the troop site instead of on her personal site, which might be the case with this one little caramel delight over here. But same thing, you'll click on all the girls you want to distribute them to, click save, and then it'll make that transfer to the girls. But I'm not going to play with that one for you. I'll let you I'll let you handle that one yourself. See, the other thing in here we want to make sure we distribute is going into the orders tab and going to your Troop Direct Ship orders. So starting during National Girl Scout National Cookie Weekend, National Girl Scout Cookie Weekend, let's say that correctly, which this year was the same week we started our cookie booths. All of your Troop Direct Ship links went live if you had created a Troop account through Digital Cookie. So when a customer goes to the Cookie Finder, they can go in and see, let's go to Cookie Finder. Oh, I guess it's not find. I've been giving the wrong link. And let's put in zip code here. All right, so a random troop will show up when they enter a zip code, and this troop exists in that zip code. So if I were to go back, change it to a different zip code, I'll get different troops. And then it shows them all of the booth locations. If you click on booth details, it'll tell you the date and the times that girls will be at those booths. So this is where we direct all of those customers when they call in and are like, hey, I want to buy some Girl Scout cookies. You're the Girl Scout building. Okay, well, the Girl Scout building adults can't sell cookies, girls can. This is where we send them. So they can place those orders for direct ship through your troop. And these, again, you can credit them to the girl or you can credit them to the troop inventory. It's probably a little easier to credit them to a girl, but you do have that option to do them either way on those troop orders. If you do credit them to the troop, you will still have to do a troop to girl transfer for those cookies because now they will exist in troop inventory. All right. What is the next step that Kim Ross gave us? Reconcile your booth credit card payments using your digital cookie reports. So there are a couple of places we can see these. So we'll look here in our financial transactions. So in here, you can see that we've got all of these booth payments by credit card. And they have little filter funnels up here. So we could actually filter by just our booth payments. And so in here, our credit card payments from our booths total $8,646. And if we take all of the cookies that we have sold at our booths that we've allocated through our smart booth divider, add all of the cash sales that we've put in there, and we should come out with a number equal to the number of cookies sold. But each booth you should be reconciling as you're doing your booths. So also we can come in here to the reports in Smart Cookies, and we can find the report titled Booth Sale Credit Card Transactions Export. And we can go here, view the report, and it'll give us an Excel sheet of all of the cookies that have been assigned to a booth. And I have not looked at this report recently, so I do want to double check that it tells you what booth. It does. So you'll have, let me see, if I put this on this screen, right? Can you see the Excel sheet now, Leona? Yeah, okay. So in here in column H, you'll see that it's got all of our names of our booths. If we click on enable editing, and now we can edit it. we will highlight the whole page using the little arrow in the top left corner and go to our sort and filter tab to filter them. So now I can go and, oh, that was not exactly what I wanted, but we now can see all of our dates and our locations. And if I want to go to just the booths that happened in March or on the 8th, and then I can filter by location. So now I've got all of the booths that happened at this location on this date, and it even gives me my time reservation. So if you had two D&B booths at the same location on this day, you can separate them as well. But it also gives you the timestamp. Now the timestamp may not always be, because like here, this one is written in a different, but I think that's still like within the time frame. And if they don't quite match up, so like here we've got 11 to 2 and it says 4 o'clock, the timestamps could be in Central Time because the digital cookie development team is in Central Time Zone. So a lot of the timestamps are in Central Time. This also could be the timestamp of when that credit card was approved by the bank, not actually like when the payment was taken. So the timestamps may or may not be helpful, but you'll have your booth time. You can't find the timestamps on a digital cookie report, but it's very complicated and it doesn't tell you what booth it's attached to. So I don't recommend it. I had to do that for a troop. I don't recommend it. All right. So there's that. So the other way you can do that is by going in here. All right. So from digital cookie, we can go into our troop. And down here at the bottom, we have that all order data report, and that'll have that same information. It'll tell you what booth it was attached to, but this is every single payment that has come in through Digital Cookie for either your girls or your troop. So if you do the same thing, download the report in Excel, filter it out, and then you can filter those booths by date and location. I don't think this one gives you timestamps though. So the Smart Cookies report might be a little bit better for that. Okay. What else do we have? All right, then we want to make sure that we allocate all cookies from troop remaining on-hand inventory, which we can find on our dashboard. So our dashboard here says we have 47 cookies left to allocate to girls. Now this is regardless of whether those cookies are actually sold or not. We need to make sure they're allocated to a girl. That could be, you know, we can go through and down here at the bottom, maybe see which of our girls are really close to one of their goals. So we've got Abby, who's got 15 packages of cookies. So maybe we can grab 10 of those, bump her up so that she can earn a patch. Same thing with Addison here. I think those are the girls that I grabbed from that booth divider. But if we've got girls who are really close to a goal or to the next, you know, reward level, we can tweak that. We can also do internal girl to girl transfers. That way it doesn't, and if we do them in the booth packages column, it's not going to affect their financials, but it will kind of give cookies to another girl who might be, again, close to one of those rewards, but not quite there. So like here we've got Stella, she's got 409. And you know, at the 400 level, she gets some extra program credits, but those 9 packages of cookies aren't going to help or hinder her either way. So if I have another girl who could use those 9 packages of cookies to either get to another reward or get to another level of program credits, we can kind of tweak some of those individual numbers as long as you've gone through and made sure all of your girls have paid for what they've collected, um, which we can check here on the financial responsibility tab. So we'll have some girls who still have a little bit of a balance, and we'll want to make sure that either that is clear or that doesn't change when we keep transferring cookies, which is why that booth package column is exists, why it's helpful. So in this, reconciling all of those booth payments, we want to make sure we reconcile our girls as well. A report that is helpful for this is the girl balance summary. And this one actually reads a lot better in a PDF, so I recommend that version. So here we'll see we have Abby. She, didn't have an initial order. She just had one cookie share. This is probably the girl from the booth. So she has zeroed out and nothing is owed. Annabella has, she's got her cookie share, no initial order, no direct ship. But she's been to a couple of booths, and then she either did some digital sales or paper sales, which we've credited her for. So these booth transfers in are going to be any packages that were earned by a cookie booth with its booth divider. And the non-booth transfers are going to be anything that she sold through either digital cookie or through a paper order form, anything that we've transferred to her, maybe for a walkabout or whatever. So these are her personal orders most often. It'll also show all of her financial transactions. So this is all of her payments from credit cards. If she's turned in any cash and you have done a girl transaction for her cash turned in, that will show up in here also. So she has turned in a total of $882. She's been provided 153 cookies. She's been credited some more with the booths. So her total package is sold 185 and she owes $36. No. Yes, because she owes 918. It flips back and forth between whether the negative is on the troop side or the girl side. So for this one, she owes $36. So we just have to make sure we grab that $36 from her at the end. Or if I, were to, or if Liana were to, do some of that sister share and wiggle some of those cookies around in here, she still owes $36. So doing these balance summaries before you do any of those sister share transfers, that way you have a record and you know exactly how much each girl owes for the cookies that she has sold. Okay. So speaking of girls and what they've sold on Digital Cookie, I am going to correct my earlier video, and you can find those in the Girl Cookie Order Details report, not the summary report, the details report. So we can look at that. This one is also easier to read in the PDF, but the math is easier to do in the Excel. So I prefer the Excel, but to each their own. All right, so here we have Annabelle. And so all of the, let's see, the fourth column in says INCL, which stands for included in the initial order. So all of the N's that are in here are orders that she has taken outside of that initial order period on her girl profile. So we want to make sure that she has been provided you've given her all of these cookies so she can deliver them to her customers because they've ordered them and paid for them. And that we've also credited her with them. I'm going to have a hard time with that word today. So she gets credit for all of those cookies as well. So if it is not included on the initial order, you do have to go in and do a Troop to Girl transfer for those cookies sold. Um, but it will tell you down here at the bottom that she needs to make sure that she has these varieties and that she has 87 packages so that we can go back to either her girl balance summary or this is where that order detail summary report would come in handy because that one will say all of the cookies that we have transferred to her. So she's got some booths in here, some cookie shares. And this is a different girl because I scrolled down. But here we've got all of her Troop to Girl transfers. And amongst all of those cookies, that should be that 87 from her digital cookie orders. This particular girl looks like she might have got some paper orders or things like that. So, or a walkabout, that could be realistic in there too with some of those numbers. So we want to make sure that she's gotten all of her digital orders and anything else that she has checked out. So you'll want to make sure you go back to your receipts and see that, okay, I did give her all of these cookies. She's given money for all of these cookies. And making sure that all of the girls even out in the end. So here's another example for our next girl. She has this one here with a Y on it, which means it was included in her initial order. So as long as your initial order had been entered and submitted by January, what was it, 29th, when we submitted everybody's, as long as it was submitted then, these initial order transfers automatically got put on each of your girls for what was included in her initial order. Anything beyond that initial order, you have to manually transfer her with a Troop to Girl transfer. Let's see, what else do we want to make sure we have in here? Digital cookie share orders. So we will want to also make sure, and we can do this on the same report, that any girls who have collected numbers in this first column, which is your cookie share, that they have been credited with those cookies. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. So here we have our girl here. She has gotten a total of 532 packages of cookie share donations. So we want to make sure that we have credited her with all of those cookie share donations. Okay, this is amazing. I'm kind of glad I looked at this. That's phenomenal. All right. So we'll want to make sure we've credited her with all of those. And that we go into our smart cookies and our virtual cookie share. And here we've got all of our girls. We can credit them, in one go. So if, Abby here has 5 and Leah has 5, I'm not going to save this. But we can go through into each girl. And then, we can put in a note here saying that it was our digital cookie share orders from this date to this date. So if we're doing it for the whole program up till now, we can say that it's from January 10th, or not January 10th, but January 21st, which is when the digital cookie, or not digital cookie, when digital cookie stopped sending orders automatically into smart cookies unless it came with a direct ship purchase. So we'll put a note in here saying what they're for, we'll click save, and then the system will transfer a cookie share to each of those girls. How do you know if a girl has gotten her cookie shares? We can go into manage orders. Yes, I know I'm leaving the page. Changes won't be saved. And we can click on cookie share. I click on CS donation too, just because I don't remember which one does which. But this is all of our cookie share transactions. And it'll say where they're from. And yeah, that's where we find all of those. If we refine this, we can click on all of our girls as well. Now we can see all of the girls that have gone in there, um, and how many cookies they have. If we would like to just, figure out one girl, we can go in here and what was I looking for here? Um, so we have Annalisa, and she's got credit for 4 total packages of cookies. So it'll show down here, she's got 4. So you got some transfers to do there, Liana. All right. So making sure those go through. We'll want to go into our finances and make sure that we go into so we've got 2 tabs here. A lot of people miss this. We've got troop transactions and we've got girl transactions. So we'll want to make sure we go into our girl page and credit our girls with any cash that they have collected. So we can go down here to the bottom, add a girl transaction, choose our girl, that it's a payment, and what kind of payment it is. Now, if you have a girl who did a cookie booth and she did it all under her name, but they were troop cookie inventory, you can either give her a troop to girl transfer, or you can still put everything in the smart booth divider and give her a booth credit payment. So then whatever she collected in cash at that booth is credited to her without it being credited as direct, like girl orders. So that way you can kind of keep that a little bit separate in your finance notes. On the flip side, if we have a girl who took a single payment on her at her booth on her girl page and then was like, oh my gosh, I messed up, I have to do them on the troop page. Similarly, we can just do a reversal on that, not that button. So in those reservations, let's go to this one so that I'm not messing with a whole lot. So say Abby over here accidentally took a payment for a Thin Mint and a Caramel Delight on her personal. So I can go in here, edit my sales. I can remove a Thin Mint and a Caramel Delight. And then I'm going to redistribute. And when I redistribute, I'm going to make sure that Abby gets 2 less packages than the other girls. This way, those 2 packages are going to get credited to her. And it doesn't matter like what flavors or anything. But so I want to make sure that she has 2 less. So we'll give her 1 and we'll give that there, 1 and here. So that way she has 2 packages less because those are going to be transferred to her as a troop to girl transfer for like a digital cookie sale. Because she took the payment on her account, so that's where the money is going to end up. Because I don't have a way to do a reverse payment from a girl to the troop. There's no way to log that. Or yeah, payment. I don't know, those wording got confusing, but there's no way to do a reverse. You can credit a girl with a payment to her personal page, but there's no way to do the flip. So you can't take a payment from a girl and add it to the troop. There we go. I think I said that right this time. See, the next thing you're going to want to do is create your recognition order for your girls. So we will go into rewards and see. Looks like you have not created yours yet, so we will create that for you. Into recognition order, you're going to select the main recognition order. And now it will tell us which girls have sold what cookies. And we can go in here And if there are any selections, it will have that red triangle. So here's for that membership renewal. I was under the impression this was supposed to be auto-selected. I will have to go look into that in my settings. So at the 300 level, girls can choose to opt in or out of the membership renewal. Um, Opt-in should automatically be selected, so I have to check that in my settings. But if a girl either knows that she's not coming back to Girl Scouts next year, or she would, like to use her program credits to pay for camp or the Disney trip or whatever, and mom and dad are just planning on paying for that out of their personal funds, you can opt her out. Um, or I do know some troops like to, cover membership fees for all of their girls instead. And so they opt all of the girls out because the troop then goes and uses some of their troop proceeds to renew all of the girls. However, your girls have voted on that. Um, that is the plan. All right, so then once we've selected all of those options, we can click save. It will save hers. And we can go on to the next one. So now we've got a girl who has over 1,000 packages. So she has some selections to make. So she will have to, at the 1,000 level, choose which one of the reward items she wants. There is a report on Digital Cookie for the reward selection because the girls do have on the web browser computer side of Digital Cookie, not the mobile app, they do see all of the rewards they've earned. And when they do get to those selections, and they've earned that, a little pop-up shows up that says, you have earned this reward. You need to make a selection. And it prompts them to go to that rewards tab and choose which reward they want, which then you, as the Troop Cookie Manager, can go in, grab this report. So we can look at that report and see that, okay, you have selected the Bonus Council Adventure credits. And just a reminder, those expire this summer. So you want to make sure you use them. Are you signed up for camp? Are you going, on a destination or what have you for some of your girls, and to just double check that that is the reward they want, or did they want to switch it to one of the other available options. So we want to make sure we collect all of those selections, get rid of all of the red triangles for each of the girls. Once that is done, it'll go through automatically on March 26th when all of the things get submitted. So the girls do have an extra week through next week to kind of finish selling, hitting some of those goals. But you do need to collect any of those cookies from a cupboard or from another troop before those cupboards close. Otherwise, grabbing some from a troop will be your only option. And I think most cupboards are closing around 18th or 19th. There might be one or two that are staying open a little longer. All right, so once we've got our recognition order done and all of our triangles have been resolved, we can go and grab that troop balance summary. Where am I going to find that? In the reports. So we can go in here to our troop balance summary. I'm going to switch it to packages because that's a little bit easier to read. This one's also easier to read in a PDF, but the math is definitely easier to do outside. But this will tell you everything your troop has collected. So you've got the average packages sold per girl selling, per girl registered. Now, as a reminder, a lot of our incentives are based on this per girl average of girls selling. So if you've got, and if here in Liana's troop, she's got 30 total girls, only 19 of them are selling. So that's going to be her per girl average based on the number of girls who are actually selling, and this is what she's going to use to figure out her troop proceeds. Uh, or the amount that she'll get for her troop proceeds. So then we'll have our initial order, the total there, how much we have in cookie shares, the direct ship only packages, and then it'll just show again also transfers into your troop. So any cookies that you've gotten from another troop or from the cupboard, any transfers you have sent to another troop, or if you've traded something into a cupboard, those will be in here as well. So we have your total packages sold, which does not include your gluten-free cookies. So we've got your total there, your total number of gluten-free packages that you've sold, and then it also converts it to cases. You've got your sales amounts, so you've got the total troop, I believe that's your troop proceeds amount, the total amount due to council, and then your total sales. So you'll want to make sure that this total due to council between your first ACH amount withdrawn, if you had one, plus all of your electronic payments that have been accredited to your Smart Cookies account, and all of the cash that you've deposited into your Troop Bank account, that's in there. So you want to make sure that that amount is what's in your account so that council will be able to pull it in April. So then it goes through all of those payments, and this is a lot of pages. I just want the last one. Okay. I went a little too far out. All right, so on the last page, you'll have your total finances. So this is all of the payments that you have put into Smart Cookies so far. I don't know what this uncollected debt section is. That might be something that Smart Cookies used previously. And then you have that balance due. So you want to make sure that this balance due is what is currently in your Troop Bank account, because that is what council will be trying to pull on in the beginning of April when we do that final ACH. That also can be found when you're looking at your troop dashboard in their financial summary. So you'll see that again, what we just saw on the report, your total sales, your troop proceeds, what to council, any deposits that have been made. And this deposit section, that includes all electronic payments that have been taken from January 10th to now. It include the credits section here. Trying to remember because this is like counting credits and debits, and it makes it a little bit wonky to think about. But I think if you had a ACH withdrawn, it would be in here under credits. So it's the amount that you've already paid that we're saying, okay, this amount we got that, you're good. If any of your girls made payments at our Silver Sage store, I know there's a couple of troops that have done that. That would probably be here under the credits. Just saying that, yep, we got this payment, we've applied it to your account, you're good to go. I will have to go look at one of those troops to make sure I'm giving you the right information. So then you've got your total amount collected and then the remainder that is due, which hopefully between, if you add your balance due and your troop proceeds, that should be the amount in your troop bank account. Ideally, that is the number you get in your troop bank account if all of your cookies have been sold. Then you want to do that. And then you also want to go into the reports and get the recognition order summary by girl. So this will tell you what each of your girls have on their rewards order. And I'm not going to download that one for you all to see, but that's what it'll tell you is what rewards the girls selected, or what you put in the reward order for the girls, and it'll have that total there. I do recommend doing that part after you've done your sister shares if you're planning on doing sister shares. Let's see. I had another thought. Oh, so I was looking at the dashboard here. We still have those few cookies that we have to allocate. So I was going to show you how to do that. So we can go in here to our manage orders, and I've already grabbed my reports and stuff like that, so I know how many cookies I need to transfer to a girl. And so I'm in the wrong spot, go into a transfer order, and I am going to transfer 10 packages of cookies in the booth column. I'm just going to put them under Adventurefuls. You can put them under whatever flavor they actually are. But we're going to transfer 10 packages here, and we're just, either going to call it like final allocation, or whatever you need to put in that note to remind yourself why you transferred her 10 packages of Adventurefuls. And then we will click save, and it will transfer those to her, so then she can earn her patch. So that is how we will do all of those transfers, and I'm not going to save that one so that we have less to go back in and tweak. Okay. I think that was most of my notes. What other notes do I have? When we've done those allocations and things like that, it may not show up right away. If it doesn't show up right away and you're trying to get that total on hand down to 0. So if we were to go in, let's do a transfer order. And we are just going to assign her 87 packages. I'm gonna just put a note that I have to delete it. When I go to my dashboard, it still says I have 87 packages, although I've just transferred them, and I know I don't. Above the words troop dashboard at the top, there is a little like revolving arrow. If you click that, it will manually update your dashboard. So now it reflects that I have 0 cookies on hand. Anytime you make changes in here, if they don't show up right away, click that little refresh button, and it should take place. Same thing with your financials down at the bottom, or sold by girl and stuff like that. That should reflect once you hit that refresh button. Also, I want to remind all of you that all cookies that you have taken from a cupboard or gotten through your initial order, those the troop is responsible for, and the cupboards do not accept like straight returns. We will accept the exchanges. So if you have too many, peanut butter patties and they're just not selling for you guys and you want to swap them out for Thin Mints and Caramel Delights, we can do an exchange or a swap case for case at most of the cupboards now. But we are not just going to have you say, oh, hey, I couldn't sell these 3 cases of peanut butter patties. Here, take them and credit me back. We don't do that. We don't accept a return of cookies. But you can trade them with another troop, which passes that financial responsibility from your troop to their troop. And we can swap them out for you. So if you have flavors that just aren't selling, and you want to bring those back, and swap them for a flavor that is selling a little bit better, that 100% we can do. Did I get all of my questions answered? I think so. And the last thing I wanted to mention, so I do know there are a small handful of troops that are doing their digital cookie donations or the donations that they've collected through their cookie booths. Their girls have said, okay, our cookie donations are going to Ronald McDonald House or the Women and Children's Association, or they're going to go to the Children's Hospital. Like that's where our cookie donations are going. This is what our girls have said. These are where my donations are going. And that's what their customers are under the impression that they are donating to. That's very important for the customer side of it to know where the donations are going. So if your troop is planning on having a donation other than to Operation Cookie, those cookies will be set up as troop to girl transfers under the booth packages if they came from cash at a cookie booth, or from the packages column if they came from her digital cookie site because she's already collected money for those. And then in the note section, you can just put in that they are like donation cookies. And that is how you would do that. You can either go into your troop on hand and grab like whatever your inventory is and transfer individual flavors. You can put them all in there as Adventurefuls or Thin Mints and just know that whatever flavor you pick for your donation cookie, your inventory is going to be off at the end by however many donations your girls have collected. So I think that is all the questions. Liana, do you think I got everything? Do you have any other questions?
I think you covered everything that I was intending to do. So I think I'm set for closing out for my troop. So thank you.
Okay. Awesome. Well, and then I will make sure that those transfers that I said I was going to delete, I will delete. And I think that is everything for this video. So thank you all for watching. Liana, thank you for joining me and letting me manipulate your troop in Smart Cookies. And if anyone else has any questions in the comment section to the video, I will put a link to the Q&A session that we are doing tomorrow night from 6 to 7 p.m. So thank you all.